What's up, guys? I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never, and welcome back to another Turbo update. If you enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, none of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Alright, so if we start out by taking a look at Turbo, you can see that it's currently sitting at a $370 million market cap, and it's actually been doing very well over the last couple weeks. And I do want to point out Turbo's volume right now. If you look at CoinMarketCap, Turbo's volume is 272 million. Now, during the initial Turbo breakout, we did see an even bigger explosion than this. It was around 600 or 700 million. But even 272 million is absolutely insane. That is 72% of the market cap, and that is so much better than most other projects. This is the exact kind of thing that I love to see when I'm looking for a meme coin. Volume shows you interest in a project. And you can see that Binance has most of the volume right now at 19.5%. That right there is a huge market share. Just in the last 24 hours, they've had 53.2 million in volume. And then you can see OKX is over 10%. But regardless, again, Turbo has fantastic volume right now. When I'm looking at the Turbo chart though, I would argue that right now we are forming an ascending triangle. And to be clear, ascending triangles do usually break to the upside. However, the issue is that Bitcoin is having a pullback. Now, I've been saying for the last week that it would make perfect sense if Bitcoin does get the pullback. We badly need it. So I do actually like that this is happening. However, it might not be good for the ascending triangle on Turbo. But the reason that Bitcoin desperately needed to pull back is because for about the last 3 weeks, we were extremely overbought on the stochastics. It is very difficult to get an explosive move when you are that overbought. So what I've been saying is I wouldn't be shocked at all if Bitcoin starts to form a flag and then we end up getting a bounce off of either the 21-day or the 200-day. If that can happen, then that would be a support and resistance flip, which would be extremely bullish from a macro standpoint. I like to show you guys what I'm talking about with the previous breakout. So you can see that price action initially got rejected off of the 200-day 5 or 6 different times. Rejection, 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 5 different times. Finally, we had the break above the 200-day, and then price action came down and bounced off of the 21-day, and then we were basically gone from there. This time, we had many different candles that retested the 200-day, but all of them got rejected, and then finally, this time, we had gotten back above it. And then similar to last time, you can see that the 21-day has broken above the 200-day, which is a golden cross. So now price action could be in a perfect place to either get a bounce off of the 21-day or the 200-day. And if we see a bullish retest, then that could be extremely bullish, and we could see another leg up. So do understand that we still actually look very good right now from a macro standpoint. I don't think now is the time to panic. But the other thing that you have to understand is that the next FOMC meeting is this week. That could cause a lot of volatility. So make sure you are prepared for that. In addition, I'm not going to actually go over Ethereum from a technical analysis standpoint, but do understand that the Ethereum Pectra upgrade comes out tomorrow. And obviously, Ethereum's performance is going to heavily impact Turbo because Turbo is an ERC20. So there's always a chance that it could be a buy the rumor, sell the news situation. However, Ethereum has been bleeding for a very long time. But this upgrade should help Ethereum in the long term regardless. It's the biggest upgrade that Ethereum's had in a long time. Now, if we take a look at the Turbo X account, they're up to 111,000 followers. But what's interesting is that there still hasn't been any crazy news. They're still continuing to post on here every single day, but it's not like they've had any major listings recently. So the fact that the volume has spiked to these levels is incredible. But I like some of their posts they're doing. They're very simple, but they're keeping their community engaged. May 5th, Turbo is ready, starting with the sunrise, full focus, no limits. 6 hours ago, roller vibes only. Turbo Toad's got the moves, no breaks, all fun. And I know posts like this don't provide information, but they are still very important. There are a lot of projects out there that don't post every day, and I personally believe that they should. Once your community starts to lose conviction, it's over for that project. And that is obviously not the case for Turbo. I believe Turbo has one of the strongest communities out there. But again, there's not a whole lot of information to go over with Turbo specifically right now. I do recommend watching this ascending triangle, but the ascending triangle is probably going to be impacted by Bitcoin. So we also need to see if Bitcoin continues filling out this flag. All of that being said though, if you guys are interested in joining a like-minded community and getting in a project super early like Turbo, then I also recommend taking a look at my Discord. We've been making huge gains in here this entire bull run. As a lot of you guys know, my Discord's around 1 year old and we've already called 6 different 200x projects as a community. And our most recent huge gainer was Sato. We hit over a 50x on Sato. It was called in here extremely early by my boy Tennis, and I even posted it at a 77k market cap. And as we stand right now, Sato is over 4.7 million. So if this is the kind of community that you'd like to be a part of, you can find the link right here on my YouTube homepage. I'd love to see you guys in here. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments how high do you guys think Turbo will go this bull run. If you found this content valuable, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.